Okay, that was a dreadful landing, so let's see if we can do a little better this time. Okay, we're back in X-Plane 11 with the Beech Baron, actually the Carenado Beech Baron, the one developed for X-Plane 10 rather than X-Plane 11. I think the major difference between them is the X-Plane 11 version just makes better use of graphic technologies. Okay, we're climbing up to traffic pattern altitude. I find it really difficult. I've done it here to maintain 104 knots, which is best rate of climb. It kind of naturally wants to climb at 120 knots. 104, I have the impression that it wants to kind of fall over to the right if you pitch up enough for 104 knots. Okay, so everything's a little bit quicker with this aircraft, so the speed's a little bit quicker. The approach speed is 96 knots. As I said, best rate of climb is 104. I'm still getting the hang of the aircraft, and the physics are a little bit different in X-Plane 11. So it's all taken a little bit of time for me to get used to it again. Okay, we're just flying basic pattern. I find it really hard to keep visual in X-Plane 11 compared to Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a little bit easier in MSFS. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm using the custom Stapleford, the Orbex Stapleford in MSFS. I'm using stock here, and you can tell the difference. There is a huge difference. Graphic settings turned down because I'm basically pushing 4K with this monitor. It's not quite 4K, but you get the idea. It's pushing quite a lot of pixels on a 1070 graphics card. Haven't upgraded yet for obvious reasons. Okay, so I'm trying to keep control of the airspeed. The airspeed tends to kind of run away a little bit. I don't want it to be running along at 140 knots. I want to get it down to about 120 knots. Again, still getting a grip of the aircraft. Still trying to figure out what numbers work best. Okay, I'm looking roughly to be parallel with threshold. It's a little bit difficult to spot the runway. Gear down, approach flaps. I'm looking to get the speed down. I have difficulty here looking over my left shoulder. Track IO has just decided that it's going to make it difficult, so I have to really stretch to. I'm looking for 45 degrees from the wing root to the runway threshold, at which point I'll start turning onto the base leg. I don't want to go too far, but I don't want to be too tight. If I turn in too early, I'm going to be too high on the runway. If I turn in too late, then it's going to be a long approach, and I'm going to have to be struggling a little bit with the vertical speed and judging that. If you get it right, then it pretty much takes about 500 feet per minute. So turning on a base leg, looking to maintain a 500 feet per minute descent. I was actually aiming for 100 knots approaching. It drops down to about 90, which is about 6 knots too slow. The thing about this aircraft is, coming from a single prop aircraft, it's quite a rapid final approach. Round out, it's really fast, which takes a little bit of getting used to. Okay, so turning on a base. I get a little bit confused here because I'm looking, my reference point is a series of white buildings, but I get confused because I see another group of white buildings and I think I've turned in too early, and then I realise no, that's not the reference. It's back there. So looking to judge that time to turn in. Of course, as your speed changes, as you go from one aircraft to the other, your visual references are going to change. Okay, so looking to turn onto final. When I turn onto final, full flaps, backing off on the power a little bit, pushing the nose down. It still comes up to level flight. a lot of forward pressures needed to keep it from climbing up. Okay, the PAPI lights here are pretty useless. I mean, I think the PAPIs, I don't actually think the reverse is in Explain 11, correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's only PAPIs, and you really can't get much use out of the PAPIs. They're very, very poor. Okay, so lining up on centre line with no help from the PAPIs on vertical speed. The toughest part of the landing is coming up here, because as I get into the round out, the nose really wants to bury itself into the runway, and I've seen people talk about applying back trim to help keep the nose up. I think that's a good thing to do, but we get it onto centre line. Still more work required, but that is a circuit and landing in the Baron in Explain 11. Hope you enjoyed that, and as always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe.